and like the whole description was like Silence of the Lambs type vibes. And I will say, like, for the first like good chunk of it, it did feel like this kind of murder mystery, weird stalker element vibe that Silence of the Lambs have. But then at the end, it went completely supernatural. And
Mm.
just with like how the story was told, me personally, this is my own personal opinion. Sometimes I feel when movies do that, like it's just a little lazy. Like it's easy to just say like, "Oh, well, it's just this weird possessed devil thing." And it's like, "Oh." But
Yeah.
this whole time there was this like, is it real or is it supernatural? And I
Yeah.
like toting on that line, but like I'm always, I guess at this point in life, I'm like, humans are 100 times more scarier than like anything supernatural. Like, supernatural makes sense, you know, like the way some of these humans act, I don't get.
Especially on this current timeline.
Yes, yes. And that's just like, that was the direction weapons kind of went. And
Mhm.
then it was just, and same with Long Legs. Then it was just like, okay, now the movie's over. It's like, wait a
Oh,
minute, what?
yeah. Like it
That
was
was
just like,
it?
oh, the deadline's here. We'll just wrap this up real quick.
Yeah, yeah. And again, not to say that either of those movies weren't good, because they were, but I'm kind
Mhm.
of like, I don't know if I would necessarily watch them again, knowing
Mm.
that's how they end. And knowing what I know about Jordan Peele and how he wanted the script, now I'm like, how would he have told the movie?
Mhm.
You know?
And you know what? It's funny you say that because I don't like scary movies, but I definitely do like thrillers. And I love like Get Out. I loved Get Out. And I guess that was considered horror, but I don't like things that are gory. I don't like Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, like that kind of stuff I don't love. But like in the vein of Get Out, where it's like a psychological thriller,
Mhm.
even though it's also horror because it's horrifying to think that honestly, I think that shit could be real.
Oh, yeah.
I think it probably is real.
Mhm.
Because there's been several people, Jeffrey Epstein, P. Diddy,
Mhm.
who have owned mansions that have like rooms in the mansion with like sterile like it's a sterile room with a dentist chair. Like, what do you need that in your room for? I mean, in your home for?
Mhm.
Um, so I think what I like about those types of movies is that it could be real. It's the fantastical, it's the Freddy Kruegers. I
Mhm.
told you I'm a
Mhm.
scaredy cat. Like I know logically it's not real, but like I'm
Yeah.
scared of it.
Well, and again, my own personal opinion, I think true horror is like you kind of having to sit with like the rot of what you're in, taking in, whether you're reading it, you're watching it, like it's you sitting with like this uncomfortableness of like,
Mm,
ooh, yeah, what would I do in that situation? Or so I think, to me, that's what true horror is, that would make me question my own like ways of
mhm,
thinking. And like, yeah, like the show and book Sharp Objects, like that's one of my favorite books and shows, and it's just so good because it's just like, yeah, what do you do in this situation? Like,
mhm,
that's
mhm,
crazy.
mhm,
um but yeah, so Weapons was good, but that was kind of my only complaint, was just like, oh, we had this
mhm.
huge like lead up, and then that was the plot.
Yeah, yeah. Like the budget ran out and we're done here.
Yeah, and I guess too, it was kind of a different take because it's the same guy that did Barbarian, and like
Mm,
I liked Barbarian. I thought Barbarian was really good. Um So yeah, he just went a different way, and I was like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was no explanation, and then it was just done.
Mm-hmm.
So we shall see.
We shall see.
I did see the movie though, Primitive War, because I'm a dinosaur nerd. And I will also say too, I know gender's not a thing, but I have never felt more like manlier than watching this movie because essentially it was war and dinosaurs. Like, I
It
don't
is
know.
giving grown ass man.
Yeah. It was, but I did like it. It was good. Essentially it was like about this during the Vietnam War, this team was sent to go find a team that got lost in this valley, and when they go, there's dinosaurs there.
Good times. Good
That was
times.
wild. It was wild.
Okay, so let's get to Love Island because we had Davin on a episode or two ago. I don't even remember now how long ago it was. And you guys are talking about it, and I had never seen an episode of Love Island. So um, I made it a point to watch so I could get all caught up. Yeah.
All right.
So
Well, let's hear your thoughts.
um so it's interesting. So Austin I hated like the entire time. I just kept thinking this dude's a Trumpster. Like I just hated his face. Everything about it. I just
Mhm.
hated it. And it looks like he had herpes to me. Like so I think at the end of the last episode I was saying that I was really feeling my age watching Love Island because I'm like the levels of delusion that you would have to go. Like my daughter and I were laughing because we were like in the interview process, the first question has to be, are you delusional? And if the answer is no, you can't be on the show. Like only if you're delusional. Um but yeah, like all of the yeah, the drinking of the milk, I was like, but yeah, so I hated Austin. And I thought that it took way too long to kick him off. Like nobody was interested in him. Get him out of there.
Mhm.
Um, Shelly and okay, so you guys spent a lot of time talking about Olandria and Taylor.
Mhm.
Um, and maybe this will feed in. And I don't know if Dee is still watching. But if you want, I could send you a link and you could hop on real quick and like join this conversation with us. Dee jumped in and said Ace is trash right before we logged off
Mm.
the last
Mhm.
hour. Um, One of my theories as I finished it, because I think I told you that what kept me going the entire season was I'm trying to figure out how Nick and Alandria end up together
Mhm.
because I'm watching it and like he definitely expressed interest in her like in the first and the second episodes when they had that challenge when he kissed her when she was blindfolded, like he definitely expressed interest in her.
Mhm.
um I don't remember her expressing interest in him. It was like Taylor came in and he was so fucking goofy. He got on my damn nerves, dude. He was just so goofy and so like he just irritated me, Taylor. And I think the internet is calling him like three dreads or something or whatever they're calling that shit's funny.
Mhm.
Because it's true.
Yes.
But what do you think about like when I got done with it, I was wondering if Nick and Olandria, while Olandria is stunningly beautiful, like stunning, her um Shelly Coco was fucking stunning.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Amaya drove me crazy, but like she grew on me as the season went on. But like
Mm-hmm.
she just was so thirsty and that irritated me. I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I just wonder if Nick and Alandria isn't a publicity stunt. Like, not to say that Alandria doesn't deserve to be loved in the way that Nick, like they're proclaiming is what's happening. But for me, I was wondering if they just decided, like, let's just get together and be a couple and like monetize this, and that it's just not giving real, it's not giving genuine for me.
Nick and
Now that I've watched
Alandria?
it. Yes.
Interesting.
Now that I've watched it, I'm just like, I mean, it's just not giving genuine for me. What it's giving for me is like, and like I said, I think she's stunning and she deserves all the good things. And I love during the reunion where she was talking about like she has this list of things that she wants to do, and Nick is like, basically, I'm gonna make all of those things happen. Like, I love that for her. She
Mm-hmm.
deserves
Mm-hmm.
that. All of that. But
Absolutely.
for me, it just felt like they got together and was like, let's just monetize this. And that's what they're doing. Like, I don't see, they're not even, they haven't even officially declared themselves a couple yet.
Interesting. Okay. This is a hot take. This is a hot take. This is a hot take. I I will
Um,
say I was a Nick Alandria fan. So she did kiss him the first day.
mhm,
Um
mhm,
whenever like the boys were standing up and like the girls got to choose two guys to kiss. She kissed Taylor
mhm,
first, but then she
mhm,
kissed Nick. And even
mhm.
after, because I'll admit, I'm a true delusional fan. I shipped it day one. I'll
Yes.
stand behind them. And you know what? If it is fake, good for her.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. And
this was,
I say that with no judgment because
yeah.
I think it's a brilliant plan. Like, I'm not saying it with judgment. I'm just saying it's not giving real couple vibes to me.
Well,
It's,
and I think they had a true, I think they were both attracted to each other. And
mhm,
Bella, like, I want to say one of her first interviews when she left the villa, she said what she was shocked that wasn't shown in the show was Alandria and her kind of switched for a little bit. Like, yes, technically Alandria and Taylor were a couple and Bella and Nick were a couple, but Bella was getting to know Taylor and Alandria and Nick were getting to know each other. And I want to
mm,
say Nick and Alandria have both been very vocal about how we didn't get to see a lot of their conversations that they had with each other. And there were a lot of stolen glances. A few of the castmates have gone on to say that anytime that they would like look for Nick or like look at Nick, he was always looking at Alandria. There are a few clips
mm.
where he is always the first one to like put out his hand because he wants to help her down the stairs. Um, so again, I'm a true like stan, and so it's shocking to me when people are like, I don't believe it, it seems fake. And I also think she was very honest about like I'm a slow burn. Like I don't kiss outside the challenges. And I
Wait,
think
wait,
he
wait. You
respected
just,
that.
on my end, you broke up and I didn't hear what you said. Just that last
Oh.
part. I want to hear that again because the chat is like yes to everything you're saying, but I missed it.
Do you know what the last thing you heard I said was?
It was Alandria said, it was something that Alandria said about Nick, I think. Shit.
Oh, so No, you're good. So Alandria said that she was a slow burner. And so
Yes.
she wasn't kissing outside of the challenges. And
Hmm.
I think Nick approached her differently then because she wasn't going to
Um,
do that. And
yeah.
I mean, obviously, like Sierra had different intentions, right?
Mhm.
And not to shame Sierra for that. Like, if
Mhm.
that's what you want to do, like, go ahead. But I think
Absolutely.
Nick knew right away he couldn't approach Alandria that way. And I think they genuinely like made a friendship connection. And then there's even a scene too where it's Bella, Sierra, and Alandria. And Sierra kind of like walks over there, and Bella is like, "Oh, so do you have your eyes set on anyone, or are we like still crushing on the same man?" Talking about Nick. And Sierra was like, "Yeah, like I think we're just crushing on the same guy." And if you watch and pay attention to Alandria, she literally goes, like, and she even kind of said like that was the moment for her that she kind of took Nick off her radar because he already had two women. And she has
Mm.
also stated for her being a dark-skinned black woman, she didn't know if she was Nick's type. So she wasn't going to go out of her way
Sure.
and do that. But I think Nick proved that he wanted her. I mean, he was picking her in all the challenges that he could. And now there's even rumors during that one like kiss or smash the pie challenge. And when he got up there and read the card, apparently he read, you know, other than your partner, who's the best kisser or whatever. And he said Alandria. And a lot of people have been asking him, did that card really say other than your partner? Because the wording is even a little off because it's Love Island. They would have said connection, they wouldn't have said
Mm.
partner.
Mm.
And it was like, okay, was he
Mm.
trying to like,
I mean, and I hope it's real.
again?
Like I said, she deserves. Like she carried herself with so much class. I hated her chasing after Taylor when he clearly was not interested in her. Like I hated that for her
Hmm.
because girl, like have you seen yourself? Like have you looked in the mirror today, queen? Cuz he
Literally.
is, and I think that Taylor knew he was out of her league. I think he knew he was out of her league and he just didn't want to try.
Hmm. Well, and I also think too, to go
She was
back
out
with
of his
like
league.
kind of Ace and like Huda, I think us as the audience and viewers, we also don't see how much production is also stepping in. And not to say that, like, technically, I don't think the contestants or the people in the villa have to do what the production crew like tells them to do. But I could see like, well, if you don't do this, you get less screen time. Or like, oh, if you don't say this, like you don't get a brand deal or whatever. And um yeah, I agree with D. Like if Ace was in fact friends with Alandria, he would have told her, like, oh yeah, Taylor's not really fucking with you like that.
Yeah.
Um
I know he stayed on Taylor's ass though about Alandria. Like he was like, dude, get your shit together. Like get up there and do something for her. Like
yeah, which is like, it's so interesting now too that Ace has kind of changed his tune and he's kind of saying that he doesn't believe in Nick and Alandria because, again, I'm going to sound crazy, but there's a moment, it's when Alandria and Nick are coupled up, and it was right after the soul tie kiss. Also, I'm like, I don't know how anyone can look at that kiss and not feel a connection.
mm-hmm.
Yes,
Which
like
one are you talking about?
the soul tie kiss between like the
Mm.
first The
Yes.
outside challenge kiss between Nick and Alandria.
Yes. After they'd both gotten dumped from the island and they like came back as a couple.
Yes.
Yeah. So that kiss specifically, like, yes, there were sparks, and yes, both of them, it was like they felt them and were like, it was like overwhelming. Yes, I agree 100%. Yes. And they were
Yeah.
like, no, just kidding. Like, this is my friend. And you know what I mean? And like,
Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah,
And
yeah,
like even Nick, when he pulled back, like my boy was lost because he saw instantly, like, this is my wife. Like,
yeah.
I see the house, I see the kids, like all that. And
Of course.
so when I tell you, I could have broken my TV the next episode when they were like, oh yeah, like no romantic spark. I was like, you're lying. I felt like I was being gaslit. I was like,
Yes.
you're lying. I
Yeah.
was
No, for
like,
sure. And it was like they were each waiting for the other one to admit that there were sparks. But I
yeah,
felt that that was a consistent theme throughout the season. Like, I felt that way about Ace and Shelley too. They both were waiting for the other one to be the first to admit that they wanted to close it off. Like, um, yeah, I just felt like, I don't know if they were intentionally trying to drag it out. Like, I don't know. But I'm like, do y'all know we can see you? Like, we can see you.
yeah, yes. And then, yeah, to go back to the elimination night. Also, I think Alandria, like after that soul tie kiss, I think she felt not weird, but I think she knew in that moment, like, oh, I actually like Nick, but I'm still, but I like Taylor because she didn't know that Taylor and Clark, like,
Mhm,
were a thing yet.
mhm,
And also, Nick and Sierra were still a thing. Alandria and Sierra were friends in the villa. Nick and
mhm.
Taylor were friends. Like, I could
It would have
understand
been
why
very messy very quickly.
yes, yes. And I could understand how she could be like, you know what? Let me just figure it out first. And
Mhm,
then, but then
mhm.
again, like, yes, at the elimination, well, Taylor picked Clark. And when Alandria was about to be dumped, Nick was the one that was like, wait a minute.
Mhm,
Coco didn't talk to me. Did she talk to y'all? I didn't think
mhm,
so. And no
mhm,
offense, Clark, you've been here 3 days. What if Taylor changes his mind? Like, he
mhm,
was like, my girl ain't going. And I
mhm.
loved someone said, you know, Nick gave them two options, either Alandria staying or she's not going home. Pick one.
Literally, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, Nick did that in front of Sierra. Like, his supposed, you know, girl that he later on went and been exclusive with and had like this connection with. And he still was like, my girl is, and also I'd never seen Nick not like mad, I guess, but like annoyed. Like his
Mhm.
nostrils were flaring, that knee was jumping, like
Yeah,
those cheeks got red. And the
yeah.
fact that Taylor couldn't even look at Nick, like Nick's, or I mean, Taylor stayed just like this. Like, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
So,
I mean, you're convincing me. Like I said, Olandria deserves, and I hope, even if it, either way, Olandria deserves to be loved properly, and Taylor made it very clear that he was not interested, in my opinion. Um, and I felt like he just didn't feel like he could live up to whatever her standards were, and he's lazy and wasn't interested in trying.
he can't have that
Um,
kid feeling.
it's like, what are you, 12? How old are you?
Literally, literally.
Yeah, I just felt like he was lazy and he doesn't want to put effort into a relationship. So great. I'm glad you let her know that. I hope Clark stands on business and makes him. Um, yeah. Yeah.
And with like Ace, I think Ace, first of all, I think he's a red pill guy. Um, he kind of reminds me, someone made a good point that he reminds them of like a pastor of a mega church, and his congregational is like not, lives below the poverty line and all that. And I was like, you know what?
I can totally see that. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy because I did like Ace. The whole season I liked him. I liked his positive energy.
So
I
I
like
have my own theory about
Okay, let me hear
this.
it.
Okay, yeah.
Let me
So
hear
walk with me because it's a
it. Okay.
little long.
Okay.
So before, I think the Islanders followers on Instagram, before going into the villa. So I think Ace and Huda had the highest followers. So I
Mm-hmm.
think production originally wanted to push Ace and Huda. But once it came out that Ace and Shelly already knew each other, then they tried to change the narrative into like, okay, let's have Shelly and Ace be our end goal. But since it's Love Island and you don't necessarily want to couple up and be so serious right away, aka Huda and
Huda and
Jeremiah.
Jeremiah.
Yes. Um.
That was
So
so weird.
it was weird.
Jeremiah triggered me because he reminded me of my baby daddy, but we'll come back to that.
And so I said, Ace seemed genuinely into Shelly, but was also attracted to Huda. The problem, Huda clearly only wanted Jeremiah. And production was probably telling Huda that she and Jeremiah were like good, because I thought at that recoupling where America put Jeremiah and Iris together, like Huda seemed genuinely betrayed by America. And I was kind of like, again, my own opinion. I only could, I guess, validate that kind of reaction if she was being told that her and Jeremiah were solid. Now, whether that had been from production or Jeremiah, I think she clearly felt secure in that relationship and was like, what the fuck? Because that's literally what she said. She was like, what?
Yeah.
And then
Huda, I did not like Huda. I could not stand her the entire season. I wanted to punch her in the face. I did not like that girl.
Yes, I agree. And then I think early on, I also don't think Ace realized the dynamic between Nick and Alandria, because Ace wouldn't have seen Nick kiss her during the blindfold challenge. And also, mind you, Alandria kissed Ace in the blindfold challenge. And I think Ace thought Huda kissed him and not Alandria. Walk with me. And also, Ace kissed Huda in the blindfold challenge. And so blah blah blah. And I think Ace wanted him and Taylor to be in the final 4, maybe even the final 2. And that's why
he wanted who? Wait, say that last part again.
I think Ace wanted him and Taylor to be in the final 4, if not the final 2. And that's why Ace was pushing Taylor on Alandria, so he could just say like, hey, just so you're safe until like your person, aka Clark, comes in here, you can dump Alandria. And again, Ace wasn't betting that Nick actually liked Alandria. And so now,
Mm.
like, the Casa Amor situation makes a little bit more sense because, again, Nick was standing on big business and Alandria wasn't going home.
Period.
Um,
Period.
and
I love
so,
this. Okay, this is good stuff. Like I said, I want it to be real. I'm just looking at it. I'm like, I don't know.
and also, too, by that time, outside of the villa, Nick Alandria was already trending.
Yeah.
And none of the other islanders got to see the date that Nick and Alandria, that private date, once they were kicked out of Casa or whatever. None of the
Mhm.
other islanders got to see that date.
They
And
didn't know that was
again, like,
happening. Yeah.
I I could see the connection on that date. And even then, like, going back to Alandria kind of being a slow burner, Nick never tried to kiss her on the lips. He always kissed the top of her hands.
Mhm.
And, like,
Mhm.
pulled out her chair for her.
He
Always,
did.
anytime she was walking, like, that hand was in his, like, he was
He
always
did.
leading her.
He
And even
did.
and even after they coupled up, there's that moment where he takes her on the little balcony or whatever, the boardwalk, and just to kind of wants to reassure her, like, I really like you. I'm trying to
Mhm.
gauge, like, what you feel about me. And before they sit down, he notices that there's water on the bench. And he sits down first and, like, dries it up for her. And he's like, all right, there you go. And now she can, like, sit down. So I'm just like, yeah, he's really, like,
I
stepping
love
up.
that for her.
And
I
yeah.
love that for her.
And I
So
don't
there were some
know.
subtleties that I missed.
That's okay.
Yeah. Well, good. I love that for her. I hope that it's real. Like I said, she deserves, and I just understand, like, especially in the world of reality television, being a dark skinned Black woman, no matter how beautiful you are. And like I said, she's like, it's like
She's, like, out of
Mother
this
Nature.
world beautiful.
Mother Nature literally took a day and was like, I'm going to design a masterpiece. Boom, 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 boom.
Mhm.
Like, she's so stunning.
Mhm.
Yeah, good for her. I hope it's real. Like, she deserves that. Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw any, like, of the videos Nick's mom and sister were making, like, outside of the villa.
No, no.
So,
So I haven't gotten a chance yet. So I literally just finished it in the middle of the night last night. I watched the reunion episode. So, and I've just been busy today.
yeah,
But
no, that's okay.
when I get under the covers tonight, I definitely plan on getting on TikTok and Reddit and, like, just
Yeah.
going down the wormhole, because
Do a
now
little
I want to see, like, all the stuff that I missed. And because
yeah,
there were
no, do a
definitely
little
times
deep
that
dive.
especially during challenges, where I just fast forwarded, like, okay, moving on,
No, and there was even, oh, what challenge was that? Um, the one where they were, like, kinda shooting slime at people in a little pool.
Mhm. That
And
was one of the ones that I fast forwarded. Yep.
okay, so and it's easy to miss because, again, I only found this out because someone was doing a deep dive. And
Mhm.
if you pay attention in that part, it's where Zach K, um,
Who got on my damn nerves.
yeah, he was whatever. He pulled Alandria in to kiss him or,
Mhm.
like, kiss during the challenge. And she
Mhm.
even jokes in her little confessional, like, oh, he picked me because he knew he wasn't going to get a kiss, like, outside the challenge. And, they're
Mm.
kissing or whatever. And if you pay attention, someone is, like, sliming the fuck out of Zach in his face. Like,
Mhm.
so no, there's no way that that was, like, a real good kiss because he just
Mhm.
kept getting slimed. And
Mhm.
so, and also, like, in the other chat, when it was other people, no one was really directing, like, the slime into the face. It was just kind of like they were shooting it up. and not
Mm-hmm.
being super intentional with it. And so if you slow it down, the only person that's like sliming like hardcore is Nick.
Get off my woman.
Yeah, he was like, I don't like that.
Aw, I love that.
And there was even, when Taylor got eliminated, and him and Alandria like shared that hug. Nick even kind of was like, "All right, that's enough. Like, let's wrap this up. We're done."
Yeah. I
Because
love it.
and I think, Nick has stated like, how is Alandria not your type? Like, what do you
I'm
mean?
a whole ass straight woman, and I'm like, this bitch is a 10.
Yeah,
10,
like
10, 10s across the board.
I
That
would
ass,
also put Alandria's
like,
toes
where
in
did that
my
ass
mouth.
come from? Like, literally, when Meg the Stallion was like, bitch, I have pictures of your ass in my phone right now.
Yeah, yeah. Like Alandria
No,
could
she's
say
fire. She's
jump, and I
fire.
would say how high.
She's
Like
fire. She's
whatever you
fire.
want, madame. Like,
Yeah. No, she's fire. 100%.
yeah. And Nick stated too, like it was kind of hard for him to see her be so loyal and be so kind, and she not get
And
any of that back.
he knew what was being said in the boys' room too. Yeah.
And I also think too that
So Nick
Nick.
was just playing the long game the whole time. Whole
Oh
time.
yeah. He sure was. He
Wow.
sure was.
Wow.
And yeah, it's like, Ace, you really like fucked up, because it could have been like Nick and Alandria, Shelly and Ace. Like y'all
Mhm.
were set to have that, but now Ace has been all weird and
Yeah.
like saying that he doesn't believe in the relationship, and he said that like there was a herpes breakout on set, and um
Okay, that's a conversation because I'm telling you, Austin had a fucking herpes on his lip. I was like, I paused my TV and got up to go and look because I'm like, what the fuck is that on his lip? What the fuck?
so I guess
So there
it
was an
is.
actual herpes breakout.
Well, we don't know if it's real. That's what
Okay.
Ace, and I don't even know if he necessarily confirmed it, but he recently did an interview with Speedy, and Speedy like kind of brought up the herpes allegations, and Ace was just
I didn't
kind of
know there were
like,
herpes allegation. That's crazy.
yeah, and Ace
That's
was just
definitely
kind of
shot.
like, oh, he just kind of like, maybe, I don't know. Because one episode, Nick had like a busted up lip, and that's when it kind of started. But then,
Well, and I remember like there was an episode where like everybody had bumps around their mouth. I'm like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Why does everybody have bumps around their mouth? That's just nasty.
yeah, I don't know.
Mhm.
Because I feel like if that were the case, like I feel like more people would have came forward about that.
I don't know, but they're definitely so. I don't know. I don't know if I actually said this on here or not, but I finished the season, but I have not got to like deep dive now into all of the podcast. But I'm going to like now. I'm invested, so I'm definitely going to listen to podcasts. I think I just saw where Nick did an episode on with Kiki Palmer, so I'm definitely
Mhm.
going to watch that probably tomorrow. But I'm definitely going to go down the TikTok wormhole. I'm definitely going down Reddit, but yeah, I didn't know there was a whole like herpes thing.
Yeah,
Like
there were like a few allegations or rumors going
I thought
around.
it. I
Yeah.
thought it.
And so, yeah, you weren't the only one to think that. I know, again, when Nick had his little situation on his lip, people were, well, he said that the guys were playing football, like American football, and who was Charlie, who, is British or whatever, he couldn't really grasp like American football because football for them is soccer. And
Mm-hmm.
so he like headbutted Nick, and that's why Nick like had, and other people also confirmed that's what happened. So that's
Yeah.
why it was like interesting that Ace was kind of like, "Oh, I don't know, maybe." And it's like there's no maybe, like yes or no. Was it herpes or was it
Either they
not?
did or they didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what I know for sure is I definitely thought everybody's got fucking bumps on their face. But also I was just grossed out by like all of the sucking face was grossing me out. So it might just be the germaphobe in me, but there was definitely an episode where multiple people had like bumps on their face, specifically
Hmm.
around their mouth, and I was like, bleh.
Well, and I feel like too, I feel like some of the women on that show are so classy, so I also feel like they would have came out and been like, "Yeah, bitch, like they wanted me to kiss people with herpes."
Oh,
You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
And I will say, me
But you don't think they
personally,
sign NDAs?
what'd you say?
I feel like they would sign
They
NDAs.
do, but NDAs are only like liable under such, and I don't know. I would have to look up like the rules and shit, but I feel like if it's an STD or STI situation, fuck that NDA.
Yeah.
Like, cause
But I think
I
by law, like it's one thing if there's a crime being committed, then an NDA doesn't apply. But passing an STI wouldn't be considered a crime. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know, but I just very specifically remember being grossed out by the kissing, and then the very next episode, everybody had bumps on their face, and I was like, and that's why that shit was gross to me because ew.
yeah. Well, and not to like excuse, or I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait for like
Yeah,
real
and see.
answers to come out about that. I know when I went to Puerto Rico though, I kind of broke out in a heat rash, and
Mm-hmm.
that on my hands it got very bumpy. And
Mm.
so I don't know, maybe swapping spit with 12 other people for a long period of
Yeah,
time,
just
like maybe,
bacteria. Yeah.
yeah, that's
Like it doesn't
bacteria,
necessarily have to be herpes for sure. There was
Right.
definitely an episode where Austin had something on his lip that looked like herpes to me.
Well, and if I remember correctly, it was a lot of the men that had it. Like,
Mhm,
I
mhm,
mean, we all know men don't
mhm.
really care about their hygiene
Hygiene is
anyways.
not, yeah.
So
100%.
yeah, maybe a few of them did have some breakouts because again, you're out in Fiji swapping
Mhm,
spit, milk,
mhm.
like, all that, like,
Yeah.
and if you're not
Not washing
properly
your face
cleaning,
properly, absolutely.
yeah.
Barf,
Mhm.
barf.
So, yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
But if it really is herpes, like that's on production,
Mhm,
because why are you not testing, you know, your contestants like that,
mhm, mhm.
especially
Yeah,
on
D
like a
said that.
televised.
Yeah. Yeah, like test, yeah, I would think that for liability's sake that they would test everyone. I would
That's what
think,
I'm
but
saying. That's why I'm like, I don't know if it is necessarily herpes because
yeah,
I couldn't see why a production company would want to take that risk.
sure.
Other than, I guess, like you being technically outside of the country,
Mm,
but I don't
yeah,
know. I would have, yeah,
yeah,
I guess you would have to look up like the rules and
yeah.
all that
I'm
stuff.
excited to go down the wormhole and stalk everybody's Instagram and TikTok and stuff. Like I'm
Yeah.
definitely doing that.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I watched last season's, and I haven't watched like any of the other versions or even like the American versions before last season. I will
Mhm.
say though, it's interesting, like, even with, like, Love Island, Married at First Sight, Love is Blind, like, the whole point of these shows is, like, the end goal is for you to be in a relationship, and hopefully, like, a long-term one to where you would potentially get married, and
Mm-hmm.
so, going back to Love Island, I'm kinda like, out of all the challenges that y'all do, how come the baby one was, like, the last one? That should have been, like, one of the first
One of the first
challenges.
ones, absolutely.
And
Well,
so
but they need a little mess.
yeah, and, like, I totally get that. Um,
Definitely, they're here for the drama.
for sure, but, like, also, you don't think people that have kids have drama? You know?
True that.
And I know
You
me
said this year
personally.
was like a public Diddy party.
Yes, like, it
It was
was.
gross. There were moments that I was grossed out. I was just like, y'all
Mhm.
are doing too much.
Well, and it was funny on family night when Nick's mom was like, "Nick, in public like that?"
Literally.
Mm. Um,
Literally.
but yeah, I was just kind of like, I don't know if you're, again, the end goal is a long-term relationship connection. Why are you doing these challenges where you're just like kissing everyone and like it should be Temptation Island at that point, like, and there's
Hmm.
already a show like that, but
Hmm. Yeah.
it's
No, I
almost like you
definitely did enjoy it. I'm a sucker for love. Like, I love to see
yeah.
people in love.
And see, so it's still like how did you not see that with Nick and Alandria the first go
Yeah.
round?
Yeah. I'm gonna go back because I remember texting you in the first couple of episodes being like, I definitely saw it in the first couple of episodes, and then maybe I don't know if it was editing or if I just got distracted by all the other drama or the bumps on people's lips or like what. That yeah, I lost the plot somewhere because I definitely did text you like I think it's wild that Nick had his eye on Alandria from day one. He was like, "Yep,
Mhm.
that's my boo."
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean, even in his little confessionals, like, he always talked about how she was the most beautiful woman he's ever seen. Mind
Yeah.
you, he's been to 40 different countries.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like, he's a
Mhm.
model.
Yeah. No, she's
I'm
fire.
sure
She
he's
is fire.
yeah. So,
She is bless
um,
her.
but when you go on your little deep dive, I hope you'll see the video of Nick's sister Ella. It's very early on. Like, she asks their
Mhm.
mom, like, "Oh, who do you think like Nick has a good connection with?" And his mom says Alandria. She was like, "I felt an
Mm.
instant spark between them," and
Okay.
she
Ooh, I just got
says,
goosebumps. Okay. All
well,
right.
and no, you're gonna get even more goosebumps because she even says, she was like, Alandria has this presence that like brings out the man in every boy, and Nick, and she was like, and I think Nick can bring out like a goofy, like fun side to her because she has to constantly
So
like,
serious.
and she
Yeah.
even
Be on
says like,
guard.
yep, hmm
Yep.
and that's his own mom. And
Yeah.
he said the same thing to Alandria while they were coupled up.
Mhm.
He was like, I feel like a man when I'm with you. And I feel like, I kind of bring out this goofy side to you. And,
Mhm. Has
you,
Sierra said anything post season? Because I see she just disappeared. I thought that was funny how people would just disappear.
hmm
What
hmm
has Sierra said?
So when she was kicked out of the villa, she came out with her apology, which I think they all said that it was a chat GPT like PR apology. And she even said, I think that like, I'm gonna take some time and reflect and take a break from like social media, blah blah blah. And I want to say literally 1 week later, she was in Mykonos, and the caption was "You look happier," and she was like, "Thanks. I was on a dating show and I just found out that like the guy that I was with never liked me and he liked my best friend more." Like she just kind of went on this weird little like, and I was like, "Ew, what?"
I mean, but
And
had Nick been kicked off, she would have moved on. Like,
mhm.
and all of the girls were friends. So,
Well, and we also didn't see, I think Nick kind of talked about how when Sierra was kicked off, he was kind of going back and forth like, do I leave with her? Because he was very open about how like he was struggling and had like bad days in the villa. And at that time, like him and Sierra were coupled, and then like she was just gone, and they really didn't tell him like why. They told them like, oh, she had to leave for personal reasons. And so he was contemplating like, oh, well, do I stay and like try to find a connection, or do I leave and like start something with her? But then he even said, he was like, but I didn't know, when they said personal reasons, what if it was because she did something that I didn't align with?
mm,
Because I would imagine, like, after Yalissa was kicked off, like, it was probably easier to make up a narrative as to why she was kicked off, right?
mhm,
But I think when Sierra was kicked off, I'm sure the rest of the Islanders were like, no, like, what's going on? Like,
mhm,
there's now, this is the second situation now where,
mhm.
like, y'all have come in and been like, hey, you got to pack your bags and leave.
Yeah.
So, like, maybe they were a little more like, well, we found out some things and, like, she
And
had
but
to go.
again, you would think that they would have done all of that research before putting them on the show in the first place. So like that was weird to me.
I see, I don't know. A part of me is like,
Or maybe they just I mean why would you? Because then drama, which is the reason for the show.
yeah.
So
Or, like, I mean, production, and of course, we'll never know, like, who. I don't know if they make that public knowledge of like who is the casting, like who are the people constantly on set with the Islanders.
hmm
Um Because I mean, I think last year there was a someone on the production team that was actively like trying to make Leah look like the villain. And so, and if I remember correctly, her grandpa died during filming and they didn't tell her.
which is insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. So, like,
Insane.
I also think too, I think you do get a lot of people's real reactions on shows like these, but
Mhm.
also like we also don't know what's happening when the cameras aren't being shot.
Mhm.
And it was a scripted show, but there was a show I watched called Unreal, and it literally followed like a production team of a reality show. And like when I tell you they were manipulative as fuck, like would
Mhm.
tell, the castmates, like, oh yeah, I overheard, so and so say this about you. And then it was like as soon as that cast member got irritated, it was like, okay, camera one, come in and like start,
Wow. Yeah.
recording that.
And
So
that makes sense. That I
mhm,
mean it's trash, but
mhm,
it makes sense because it makes for good television.
mhm.
Gross.
Yeah.
I was fascinated by the fact that there didn't seem to be any drinking on Love Island. Like there was no alcohol outside of the champagne. And in general, alcohol seems to be such a prevalent thing in reality television. So I was fascinated by the fact that there wasn't alcohol on Love Island outside of like when they went on dates and they got champagne.
Mhm.
But also that might be a liability because I know in other reality shows that there's been SAs and thing,
Mhm.
DV, because people can't. Well, the alcohol can't even be the reason, right? Like if you did it when you were drunk, then you would do it when you're sober.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I wondered if that was the reason. But I was fascinated by the fact that there wasn't alcohol. Like everybody's doing all of this
I want
sober.
to say, like, these past few years for reality TV, there have been a lot of allegations coming
Mm-hmm.
forward about like alcohol use. And
Mm-hmm.
I know Love is Blind had a few issues where
Mm-hmm.
some of the contenders were coming forward and saying, like, oh, yeah, production would make us drink like nonstop. And then,
And
like,
not feed them.
yeah, not feed them, and then would
Mm-hmm.
make them like go do, their dates. And there's
Mm-hmm.
even that one clip, I forget what season, but one of the girls literally like passes out in the little chat room, and she was like, yeah, because they had been like telling me to drink wine nonstop, and like I was tired.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know if it's gotten better, because I know the reality TV that I grew up with, like, they were
Mm-hmm.
doing coke. And looking back, I mean, sure, there were probably some shows that I probably shouldn't have been watching as a teenager. But what can you do? I watched Jersey Shore, and looking
Yeah.
back, like, so much coke and pill
Yeah.
popping was happening.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think back to, like, how was I so naive to think that they were just acting this way because they were drinking alcohol?
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's even a clip from Jersey Shore when they're all at a club, and Mike, he used to wear like this big ass like cross necklace. There's
Mm-hmm.
literally a scene where some girl comes up, and this is like the necklace, and she goes and just walks off. And I was like,
Ah.
how did I not see that?
Wild.
Yes. Like, huh? And I used to watch this one show, MTV had it. It was called Are You the One? And kind of
Okay.
same thing, like you'd have, did you ever watch it?
Mm-mm.
No. It was kind of the same thing, like you had probably 10 to 12 men and women in a beautiful like mansion type, and your perfect match was apparently in the house, and you had to do these challenges and like form these conversations to see who your match was. And then if you thought that you were with your match, you would go into, I think they called it the truth booth, and it was this machine that literally, like, talk about AI. Literally, it was like a laser that would scan you, and I'm sure it was just literally lights or whatever, but it
Mm-hmm.
would like scan you and your partner, and then on a dramatic screen, it would pop up like match or no match.
Oh
And if you
God.
were a match, you would immediately go to like a honeymoon suite, and that's where you would stay. But if you weren't a match, then it's like, well, now you got to start from square one. And I think it was after the first season, because I mean, they were getting rowdy. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
think they were throwing fists, they were throwing bottles. I mean, that you would have thought it was an episode of Baddies. Like, they were going at it, and it turns out, like, yeah, there was a bunch of drugs and alcohol that they had access to. And of course, that's going to happen when you have all these young 20-year-olds that are essentially like fighting for each other's attention, right? And that's the other thing. Like, why are we saying this is Love Island? Like, let's do real challenges. Like, can you guys build a deck together? Because do you know how many times I hear, like, oh, yeah, me and my partner almost got divorced because we couldn't, like, figure out how to build this thing correctly, or like garden together, or can either of you fill out a check? Do you know how to properly like write a letter? Like
Let
little
me
stuff
tell
like
you, when
that.
my husband and I moved into our current home and we had to build furniture, um, that shit will test your communication skills, your patience, your yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
And it's like,
Absolutely.
yeah, why are we doing again like you're doing this more temptation of like, well, can you stay loyal? And it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I would like to think so. And it's like, well, can you stay loyal if we set up a challenge and you have to kiss three other people and,
Yeah.
go on a date with someone who you might not even like? And it's like, well, now I don't know.
And be drunk and do cocaine before you go.
Right. Like, huh?
Insanity.
A little bit. A little bit.
So it's been an hour again, which is
Again.
insane. This was so fun today.
Yeah.
I mean, I have fun every time we get together. Obviously, that's why we keep doing it. I can't believe it's been almost 2 years. That's
Mm-hmm.
wild. That's
Look at
wild.
us.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. We've come a long way.
Yes. I feel like we've grown a lot. There's still some room for growth. Like we're out here doing big
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Big shit. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off because we already have our closers.
Perfect.
Yeah, we'll see y'all soon.
See
Bye.
ya.